first, new features. Let's see, where is... when was... So OSA is the open scripting architecture. That means you were able to write Apple scripts inside HyperCard using the AppleScript programming language instead of HyperTalk for your scripts. But I want to see where it's... Oh, HyperCard 2.2 and later accommodates scripting components that don't... Yeah, okay, so... So I think... Yeah, it might be that the handle Apple events in a HyperCard script wasn't actually available since before 2.2. And since we saw in Myst bigger same 2.1, my guess is they used 2.1 for their development. They definitely didn't use 2.0 because their shortcut of Command M to reset your menus wouldn't have worked. Okay. So we've looked that up. Oh, wait. Let's go back here for a second. I love what they did in the well, let's in the help stacks and things. Yeah, this is a really interesting thing to investigate. Well, where are we? HyperCard help, I think, has it as well. I love, think of it. You have 72 DPI graphics, so you can't really, and you have a limited screen size, and you have windows that are just about the size of your screen. What do you do in the online documentation? You also don't really have scrolling documents in HyperCard. Like, the only way to scroll is using like the entire content. Like, you can have text fields that scroll, but anything else, you had this, which is the scroll palette. So that was for if you got a large stack on a small Mac screen, then you could make it the smaller size and look at it by dragging around this little window. So that there was really no scroll bar for the window in HyperCard. Like, for example, SuperCard added that later. So what did you do to put a screenshot of a large window in here? And what they did, I hope we'll see it in a moment. Yeah, for example, here you see it. They designed kind of a smaller version of the operating system. So you see, like this menu should be the charcoal font, or Chicago at the time that this HyperCard was probably designed. And should be 12 points in size. And here they use Geneva Bold 10, I think. And this is even Geneva 9, I think. Even smaller. And just like all the graphics they do here basically are let's see. Here for example, they like draw tiny redraws of whatever stacks or windows. Here, like if you look at the message box, it used to look like it was black and white, so this is a more modern System 9 look already. But yeah, here Like they just use a smaller font and kind of redraw it, and those just look so cute. These little windows. Sorry that I'm kind of distracted here, but I just saw that and went like, yeah, like tiny menu bar. Aw. Okay. And you said you double checked, and it does seem the change happened between 2.0 and 2.2. 2.0 was not Apple event aware, but 2.2 and later was. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I'll have to, like, if I can, I should have 2.0 on a floppy somewhere. So I should have backed that up and should have that in some way. Should have those files. Anyway, so let's make a new stack. File open test. But it would be kind of sad, given Myst was made with 2.1. And if HyperCard 2.2 added properly opening files, you know what, that kind of makes it sad. Okay, so let's create a new field that will show our text. And now stack info script on Apple event. Whoops. And Apple event. No, wait. We need. Where are we? Oh, I should probably not have done this. Just to be safe that we don't lock ourselves out of anything. I can just go home in new window. Alright, our stack is still there. And now we will try. Where is the HyperTalk reference? Oh, HyperCard AppleScript reference. That looks even more interesting. Oh no, that's about AppleScript, not Apple events. So that's probably not it. HyperTalk reference here. System messages on Apple event. Class ID sender. Okay. Luckily there's a shortcut. So name event ID sender. And then let's just put that in the message box and see what happens. Put event. Oh, I need a quote. Event received. Name. And event ID. From sender name. All right. Okay, and now we should be able to just test this with HyperCard, all right? Is this in here? Yeah, okay. So HyperCard 2.4. This folder is getting a mess. Am I Oh, HyperCard is open. That's why I couldn't find the icon. On one hand, I love that they have an effect to show you this application is already running. On the other hand, I'm a bit annoyed because it's just draw the outline and fill it with this pattern, which admittedly looks open, but it looks like a hole. But it also means you can't find the icon anymore. Okay, so let's see. Can we just drag a stack on that and what happens? Yeah. You see, it actually says event received, Apple event, so that's the core event class. ODoc is open document from Finder. This is basically a file path, just it's a interprocess. So like it's a network address for a running application. So asterisk I think means current application. So HyperCard does get told about this. So what we have to do next to see if Myst could not do this is if event ID is ODoc and class name equals if, then else, and if, then and now we have to figure out how do we extract arguments from. Oh, we don't have a window menu. That's inconvenient. Here you are. It's funny how you go back to old software as someone who's used to macOS 10 with its standard built-in window menu. Like if you create a new application project in Xcode, it has a window menu. It has working copy and paste, working undo. And here you go in there and realize, okay, some applications just don't have undo. Most of them only have one time undo. Alright, so Apple event related to request expression. That looks good. Request Apple event data with keyword demo script. No examples. Request target from program mpw shell. No. Okay, so I think I might need Inside Macintosh for this. Request Apple event ID sender return ID sender ID. So I think we need to do request Apple event data with, is it with keyword? Yeah, with keyword. And now we need to find out inside Macintosh inter-application communication. ODoc. Hello? Yes. Keep searching, yes. Now you see how slow stuff like that was back then. Searching for a string in a file? How long can this take? Okay. Open documents. Yes. when you were a kid back around 1994, you wanted to buy HyperCard as your first IDE, but the guy in shop said it was deprecated and sold out already back then. So he sold me Think Pascal instead. Not sure yet if that was for better or worse. Well, if you got into programming, then I guess it was better. But yeah, it's a bit odd. Okay, the direct object is what we need. Where is key direct object? What value do you have? I might have to open Code Warrior just to find out what value key direct object is. This is what programming was before the internet, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, it's 4 dashes. Duh. Okay, with keyword 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I guess you put it into Apple event data with keyword. To examine the data of an incoming Apple event, yes, you can omit the zone, you can omit the target computer. I guess it oh yeah, here it says goes into the local variable it. So okay, request Apple event data with keyboard, put asked to open it. All right. So let's see if that works. Ask to open. Yeah, we get the file path. So now, last step missing is save this as a standalone. Yes, that's good. Yeah, that's okay as well. I don't know why I created this text. Yeah, I guess we can finish the example so we can show that if Myst had been made with one HyperCard version later, or HyperCard had added this feature one version later, save files would probably look completely different. Okay, so we have the resources here, and there is the BNDL resource, which describes what files it can open. And here we can now add text files where HyperCard has no idea how to open them. We can even create our own icon. Like this. And write text in it. Of course, create a mask for it. That should be enough. Okay. Okay, now file open test. Oh, maybe we should. I'll use file typer, starts faster. Make sure that it is not has been initted. Okay, so now We need just some random text file. That's a TTRO file. We can't. I was just like, oh, there's a text file. No, that's a different thing. Where is Code Warrior is on the internal hard disk, right? That should have lots and lots of, yeah, here's a text file. So now maybe quit HyperCard as well. Reopen Gigabyte because we closed it, but we still need it. Yeah, so that would work. We now get an Apple event that says we're asked with the full file path, Macintosh HD development Code Warrior. What does it say? Tools install log. So we get the full file path. We get no error message from HyperCard. So what we could do now is we could open this stack and finish this by saying put it into file name, open file name, read from file name until end, close file name, put it into card field text. That should work. That should probably already work. Oh no, it can't. But what I have to do, just to be sure I don't do this needlessly, if path is empty, actually you can say is empty, then answer file of type text, put it into path, and then I hope I didn't just nuke my code. Ooh, it's still there. Because the clipboard is a little iffy with this emulator, I keep forgetting. It's ironic that you've learned most of what you know of HyperCard during the last years, I guess, as part of the project you know about. It's amazing how the HyperCard 1X drawing tools are almost one-to-one the same as in Mac Paint. And also it's surprising how much HyperCard has influenced other tools such as Visual Basic, which we used briefly in the late 90s also, last year. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah. So, I guess I can mention that you went public. Tony is working on a classic Mac OS emulator, and I could probably shout you out as well. With an aim towards making some old games run, apparently. I'm just drawing a blank Mace. So Myst.software is the domain name of Tony's emulator. They have a really nice blog. By the way, I love your blog. You go into so much detail about all the things. Just one thing I remember. how you described how the pop-up menu control works. Which I guess I can summarize that here because there's enough different information on that blog, much more than just this. But so basically what they're doing is they have a button that can be wider than the menu items it contains, and they wanted to have it so that, for example, if you look here, it's HyperTalk AppleScript, and the pop-up is this wide. But the button is always the menu is always as wide as the button, even though you only need to, like you could cut off 10 pixels or something here. Like usually this menu would be shorter. Let's see, do we have one with shortcut? Yeah, here you have one with no shortcut, and it has only this much space on the side. Whereas this is obviously a little larger. So what they had to do was they somehow had to force the menu to be wider. And since the pop-up menu control was originally part of the communications toolbox, they couldn't change the operating system to do that. It was like an add-on. And so what they did was they created a MDEF, so that's a menu drawing function. Hello, Republikalien 99. Republik Alien 99, I guess. I'm doing well. Hi. Just talking about old macOS stuff here. So what they did to make these pop-up menus always the same width as the button was they wrote a menu drawing function and registered that, and that drawing function, that's the thing that usually, draws each menu item, draws the text, and so here, this is a custom menu drawing function that draws a different highlight, and that instead of drawing a line for each item, draws them in this grid and draws the separator this way, so that's basically what these drawing functions usually are used to do, to completely change the look of a menu. What they did was they wrote one that just called through to the system every time. And then when asked how wide should the menu be, actually asked the system, okay, how wide would you make it? And then when they and then said, okay, either the width of the menu, or if that's larger, the width of the button. And that's such it's crazy. Like you create an entire new menu drawing function that just says, no, do the normal thing. But in this one spot, make it wider, just to get the menu to be the right width. Usually this would be, just a flag in the system standard one. In case you're interested, that specific menu definition function wrapper is in macOS system files resource proc ID -8224. Oh, why is it a proc resource? They do some dirty tricks to not have it as a MDEF. Alright, where were we? Right, I wanted to be able to test this. So, this is called path. Now, not file name. Alright, and now we can just say show file path. Okay, and now I should be able to write show file and just try this out. Oh, I just realized I forgot to mention something about... Someone remind me of deprotect if I try to sign off the stream without talking about that. Development, Code Warrior, install log. Whoops, okay. That makes sense. That file was too large, I guess. Where else do we have text files? License? That looks okay, yeah, okay. Okay, save a copy. Oh, it was a stack anyway, I think. Oh, I saved it in the Code Warrior folder. Okay, I don't want to do that. Let's see. Okay. Now we have 2 copies. And there is a reason for that, and that's because I wanted to just go. That's the wrong one. Almost copied the wrong direction.
Uh-oh.
Replace resources with the same ID. Yeah, we have the text thing now. So now we can delete the old file open test and make this not initted.
Uh-oh.
Wait. Save this. Okay. And now close this. And now this should still be able to open text files. And now we just have to find a nice text file. Okay, I guess we pasted something, but it looks weird. Okay, so somehow this little demo doesn't work, which is a little weird. But I guess we can open that one again and see if it makes a difference. If we drag it on HyperCard. I have a text editor. I can just create the bloody file myself. And this, by the way, is why this stream has an adult rating. Let's do this, and then the obligatory Babylon 5 quote. Alright, so now we have 2 text files. And now we see whether it works. Okay, something here is still wrong. Put it into file text. Maybe that works better. And maybe red file path. Oh, I see. Someone created a file named path. That's the problem with our script. Okay, so why? Oh, we're passing path here, not it. I'm a moron. Okay, so now delete the stray file named path here. And here's hypercard, and now this should work. Yeah. Good. Now let's save a copy again. Oh no, that was a stack. We need an application. Okay. So now we've proven that HyperCard since 2.2 actually lets you open text files with it as well. Wait, I forgot one here. It's a surprise that worked actually.
Uh-oh.
All right. Not initted and quit. And now this one should work as a standalone. Yep. So this is how Myst could implement save games today, which admittedly, this doesn't feel like the HyperCard way. You would kind of expect a on drop file or on open file or something method, a function that you can just, a handler that you can just implement. But really you have to go to the low level at the Apple event level and unpack this. But that's basically okay, so we've proven that it works. Yeah, alright, so but yeah, we have our hard disk here of a Myst that is all HyperCard stacks and QuickTime movies. So yeah. Oh, there was one thing I wanted to mention, and that was deprotect. So you didn't see that because I already did that when preparing this hard disk. HyperCard has a feature called protect stack. So let's see, let's take our file open test stack that we just made because we know it has a program in it. So if we open that with hex edit, you see here stuck in plain text again. So, and you see the script we wrote on Apple event, class name, event ID, sender name, blah, blah, blah. You see that in clear text in here. And I think the message, yeah, here like Metroworks, like this is the text of the text field. So everything is clear text in a HyperCard stack. Now we'll open this, and there is protect stack. And in protect stack, you can set a password. So we'll use the most secure password, 1, 2, 3, 4. No. 1, 2, 3, 4 is not secure enough. We'll use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, confirm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so now we have set a password. If we now do protect stack, it will first ask me for a password. And now I can say private access, for instance, or I can say can't modify stack or something like that. Or, well, I can, and for example, I can set up here what is allowed. So I can say you're only allowed to browse this stack, which means script editing or painting or just changing text and text fields. Actually, changing text and text fields we want to permit. So we prohibit that. And now our menus have become shorter. And but the stack itself still works. And now we quit this. And wait, let's do this first. You might have noticed that the text we saw was something different. That's because HyperCard, it kind of has these little blocks, and when something changes and gets resized, this part doesn't get deleted. It's like when you delete a file. It just deletes the table of contents entry, but the file contents are still on your hard disk until the space is needed again and overwritten with something else. And so in that stack in the hex editor, we actually saw some old text, but now this should be much shorter. And here, you see, I have forgotten how to dance. So our text is still in there in plain text, even though the stack is now protected with a password. I mean, it makes sense, given that, you have to be able to open this stack and use it. And it has to be able to display this text, But for example, I don't have the objects menu anymore, and I don't have the tools menu anymore. I cannot edit the program. But we saw here in the hex editor, sorry, I'm going back and forward a little, that here the program is still there in clear text. I can write it. And this is how they saved the Myst stacks. Thank you for following Presto PPC. Which means when I first run, so the Myst stack itself wasn't password protected, but all the ages in here, Dunny age, mechanical age, Myst itself, those were protected. So that meant when I went, actually I have to hold the, by the way, secret trick, if you restrict the user level to 2, you don't get the protect stack menu item anymore. You have to hold down the command key and pull down the menu, then you get protect stack back. Then I just got this password panel, which, if I don't have the password, how do I get through? So there's an easy solution to that, and it's called deprotect. So there is like a standalone deprotect stack. You can also find it in the developer stack, which many people have, which is a collection of externals. And they contain a external command called deprotect, and you can just click a button, open your stack, deprotect successful. And now, if I open it, now it's still, no, actually it even removed the limitation. Ah, good. Now I can just say protect stack, and you see I can get in. I don't have to say a password. It even reset the user level to scripting. So I can now, again, grab my tools and even, edit the script of the stack without ever having entered the password. And so if you ever plan to go spelunking in Myst or another HyperCard stack, that might be something you might have to do. Yeah. Basically, that's what I wanted to point out about Myst today. Apart from that, it's an awesome game. Oh, and one thing, I'm not getting paid for this, but since I'm a big fan, like it was one of my first computer games, and I think the first one I had on my own computer that I really loved. Like, I had a few other games that were, oh nice, it's a game, but this one caught me. Like, I played this from start to beginning. So Myst is has been remade a couple of times. They made something called Real Myst, which uses a 3D engine, not these static images where you turn. Oh, right. And this will probably crash again. Well, let's see if we can start it once more.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, so yeah, instead of the this turning here, where you just like switch by one step, which by the way, we need best transitions again. Oh, this time they even work. Nice. That's how it's supposed to look. Oh, nice. Glad that I could make this show the right way. Anyway, so where was I? I forgot my train of thought. I was yeah, so Real Myst was made and it uses a 3D engine. So the graphics are slightly upgraded and it works, and you can, you know, turn around freely and walk across, and even you don't have to stick to the paths. You can just like walk through the forest or whatever. They did that. They also, of course, before that, they did, I think it was called Myst Masterpiece Edition, and also a Myst PC port, so not for Macintosh, which of course wasn't based on HyperCard anymore, because HyperCard is just Macintosh only. Although I'm running it in an emulator on Windows right now, but like HyperCard itself still needs the emulated classic Mac OS and 68,000 or PowerPC Macintosh CPU, you know. Anyway, so they did that rewrite a couple of times, and recently they did a completely new rewrite with a huge graphical update. That was the VR version of Myst, and that uses Unreal Engine 4, I think. And so, as you know, Unreal 4 is used for many PC games. So what they actually did was they did the VR one first, and now they've announced it for Q3 2021. They've announced the new remastered version, remade version of Myst again. And so that will be a full Unreal 3D engine with highly modernized graphics. But, you know, still like the general design and the puzzles will be the same. So it'll just be, you know, full screen, more nice looking, and less confusing whether, oh, I'm now, where is it? Wait. Okay, now I turned 180 degrees. I didn't just turn 90 degrees, but if I walk here... Hello? No, it doesn't walk forward anymore. That's not good. Well, anyway. No. And now I've suddenly walked down the path. Whoops. Yeah, a little bit is a bit hinky in the emulation, but like, you know, like here I turn 180 degrees, in other spots I turn a third of a circle and things like that. So, the new Myst won't have that problem, just like Real Myst didn't anymore. Um, and so I'm looking forward to the release of that. I'm planning to replay Myst in that new version then. Um, so if anyone is curious about Myst and not just about old software, feel free to come by then. I have a Discord, by the way. There's a link below if you want to chat. Otherwise, I also hang out on the, what is it called? Mac Dev? Mac PPC? I forgot what the Discord is called. Tony, you know you're there as well. What was the Discord called? No, I'm not starting Discord here right now. It'll just go boop boop all the time. Anyway, so I'll be playing that game. I'm still currently playing, so that will be likely be on Sundays. Where I'm currently playing Dishonored 2. And Sunday afternoon stream. So you can see the schedule below the stream. Should show it in your time zone. It shows the current stream time, and it shows the Sunday stream coming up. If you're curious, keep an eye out, follow, whatever. Tony, you can only imagine how challenging the experience making a PC port of the original Myst must have been, considering how unique HyperCard development is. I'm not sure. Like, I can think of a lot of HyperCard things that were probably more challenging. I would think that the way Myst was written, since it basically didn't use a lot of the things that were built into HyperCard. Like I mentioned the save games earlier. So, the save games are just stacks in which they write the state of the game. Duh. But the thing is, HyperCard stacks actually autosave. So, whenever you toggle a button and that changes its icon, that gets written to the file, back to the file. So in Myst, they actually had to go into that protect stack panel and tick that can't modify stack checkbox to prevent HyperCard from saving that stuff. And then they had to add scripts in there already to look at the save state loaded from the save game or the current state kept in, global variables, and had to take that info and check that information and then update all the graphics of everything that was drawn. And all the color graphics weren't, fixed on the card. There were actual commands that said, draw this picture at this position. So Myst is actually, despite being made in HyperCard, behaves in many ways. MDev Macintosh Developers Discord. Yeah, thank you, Tony. That was it. So I also hang out in Discord. So if any of you are old computer fans and want to reach me, you can find me in there as well. That's probably target audience-wise for most of you. A more likely place where you already are. Or, hit me up here on Twitch with a DM or something like that. So yeah, so Myst already doesn't use a lot of the specific things of HyperTalk. So basically, all quote unquote, it's still a bunch of work, but basically all someone had to do who wrote, who made a port of Myst was take all the graphics that are here, export them, or maybe, maybe they had to re-render them. It might be that the PC port already got full 640 by 480 by the time it got released. I don't know. So they might have re-rendered those graphics and into JPEGs or whatever, PNGs. So they had to write an application that can bring up a window change the current palette. They had to export all the custom palettes they made to a format that this Windows application can understand. They had to take all the graphics that were picts or color icons and export those to a format that they could show on Windows. But I mean, I think most of them were... Oh no, I think those used QuickTime compression, so that might actually have been... like you definitely needed to import them. If it was just uncompressed bitmaps, I could have thought they could have probably written a very stupid pict renderer for Windows that just, ignores the header, then picks out the raw pixel data for that one element, just assumes that it's a picture that only contains one bitmap. Because pict is a vector graphics format, right? So it technically could contain a bitmap and a circle and a line and clipping and things like that. But yeah, so I think the way Myst is structured, there will already... it will probably mostly for the PC port have been you need someone who understands the Myst code, and then you just create parallel constructs. So you just, instead of having buttons that are named left, right, or whatever, and that use characters or something, you maybe build a proper data structure for that. You have to detect those patterns, but that's all Myst, Cyan, Robin, Rand, and what was the third one? Ryan Miller? Specific idiosyncrasies, basically, that were born out of what HyperCard couldn't or could do, but still. Pict is technically a drawing command recording format, so it can serialize most of the quick draw commands, and drawing picture is just a playback of those recorded commands, so it supports that way both text, lines, any shapes, and bitmap data. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, that's what, like, if you want to be general compatible to Pict, it's a lot of work. To implement all these. You're basically re-implementing quick draw, But on the other hand, if you just need to be able to read the graphics from a pict file or pict resource that Strata Vision spits out after rendering, that's much easier, That's what I was kind of going for, yeah. But so I think... it's still a lot of code to wade through, and some of the weirder things, like how the save files were saved, or something you would, of course, simplify on Windows. And maybe you'd add some UI for loading and save files or something, But I think it's a fairly straightforward Windows application otherwise. You need a window, you need to be able to draw graphics into it, you need to handle clicks, and you need to be able to play movies in that. And I think Video for Windows at the time also used Cinepack, so the conversion of the movies might have been also just a repackaging step and not actually generating new movies.